I grabbed the coffin lid and yanked it open in front of 500 mourners. His eyes snapped open. The dead man blinked at me. And that's when all hell broke loose. The funeral was gorgeous. Too gorgeous. And that was my first clue that something was deeply criminally wrong. I stood at the back of the Hanamdong Cathedral, my dark skin standing out like a neon sign among the sea of black-clad Korean mourners. Rain hammered against the stained glass windows while someone wailed operatically near the front. The whole scene was straight out of a K-drama, except K-dramas didn't usually feature a pissed-off black woman who'd just flown 6,000 miles because her lying, ghosting, supposedly dead ex-boyfriend forgot one tiny detail: I can read Korean. And the obituary? It was bullshit. Wait, stop. Before I tell you how I ended up interrupting a Korean Mafia funeral and discovering the corpse was my ex-boyfriend who faked his own death, you need to subscribe right now, drop a comment telling me where you're watching from, and smash that like button. My mom said this video won't hit 10,000 views or get 1,000 subscribers, and I need you to prove her wrong. Now, let me tell you about the craziest week of my life. Excuse me, I whispered, squeezing past a woman dripping in diamonds. She shot me a look that could curdle milk. I smiled sweetly and kept moving. 3 days ago, I was in my Chicago apartment, enjoying my post-breakup hot girl summer, eating ice cream and cyberstalking his Instagram, when I got a DM from an unknown account. Just a link to a Korean news article. Choi Min-jun, CEO of Choi Enterprises, dead at 32. My spoon clattered into the sink. Min-jun? My Min-jun? The man who'd wined and dined me for 6 months, introduced me to his grandmother, taught me to make kimchi, whispered sweet nothings in a mix of Korean and English, then vanished 3 weeks ago like he'd never existed? That Min-jun? Dead? I should have been sad. Instead, I was furious. Because the article mentioned his grieving fiancée, and unless Min-jun had been secretly engaged to his right hand, someone was lying. I did what any rational woman would do. I maxed out my credit card on a plane ticket to Seoul. Now, watching his gorgeous face frozen in an open casket surrounded by enough white roses to start a garden center, rage bubbled in my chest hotter than the tteokbokki he'd made me on our first date. He looked perfect. Too perfect. His skin had that dewy, just did my skincare routine glow. His lips were the same soft pink I'd kissed approximately 1 million times. There wasn't a single sign of decay, or... Wait. I squinted. Was his chest moving? Are you family? A sharp voice cut through my thoughts. I turned to find a woman who looked like she'd stepped out of Vogue Korea. Perfectly styled black hair, designer hanbok, and an expression that suggested she could have me disappeared with one phone call. Friend, I lied smoothly. I don't know you. Her eyes narrowed. Min-jun didn't have black friends. Oh, he had at least one black friend with benefits, honey. We were close, I said, matching her icy tone. Very close. Biblically close, actually. Her face went through several interesting color changes. Before she could respond, a man in an expensive suit approached. He was older, maybe 60, with silver hair and eyes like chips of obsidian. Miss Adeyemi, he said in perfect English. We've been expecting you. My blood turned to ice. How did he know my name? I'm sorry for your loss, I said carefully. Are you? He smiled, and it didn't reach his eyes. Because according to security footage, you've been photographing the guest list, the flower arrangements, and you attempted to access the private family room twice. Shit. I'd been sloppy. I'm a photographer, I improvised. Professional habit. You're a graphic designer from Chicago who dated my nephew for 6 months. He stepped closer, his voice dropping to a whisper that somehow felt more threatening than shouting. The question is, why are you really here, Miss Adeyemi? And what exactly do you think you know? The room felt smaller suddenly. Hotter. Every instinct screamed at me to run, but I'd learned long ago that running from powerful men only made them chase harder. I know, I said slowly, meeting his gaze, that dead men don't breathe. For a moment, nobody moved. Then his expression shifted. Surprise, then something that might have been respect. You should leave, he said quietly. Korea isn't safe for curious American girls. Funny. I smiled, But my heart was hammering. Min-jun said the same thing when he was trying to keep me away from his business meetings. My nephew was protecting you. From what? The truth? That he's not dead? That this whole thing is... A gasp rippled through the crowd. I turned. The coffin was moving. No, someone inside the coffin was moving. I didn't think. I just moved, pushing through mourners, ignoring shouts and grasping hands. I reached the casket in seconds and grabbed the lid. Don't, someone yelled. I yanked it fully open. Min-jun's eyes snapped open, dark and wild and very, very alive. They locked onto mine. Zara, he breathed. What the fuck are you doing here? What the fuck am I? I was screaming now, months of hurt and confusion exploding out. You died, asshole. You ghosted me, then you died. He sat up in the coffin like a vampire in a horror movie. Women screamed. Someone fainted. I can explain. You'd better explain really fast because... Gunshots cracked through the air. Min-jun grabbed my wrist and yanked me down as the cathedral windows exploded in a shower of glass. Don't you dare scroll away. I know you need to know what happens next. Did Min-jun really fake his death? Who's shooting? And why is this the second time he's ruined my life? Comment below if you think I should forgive him or punch him. 3 things happened simultaneously. Min-jun threw his body over mine, the cathedral erupted into chaos, and I realized that even while dodging bullets, the man smelled unfairly amazing. Like expensive cologne mixed with whatever lies he'd been marinating in for 3 weeks. Stay down, he shouted, his voice that same commanding tone that used to make my knees weak. Now it just made me want to knee him somewhere painful. Get off me. I shoved at his chest, his very solid, very much not dead chest. You don't get to play hero when you're the villain. More gunshots. The ornate chandelier above us exploded, raining crystal like deadly confetti. Min-jun rolled us behind a marble pillar, his arms locked around me like steel bands. Villain. He had the audacity to look offended. Zara, I faked my death to protect you. By making me think you were dead? That's your idea of protection. I tried to wiggle free, but he held firm. Let me go before Before you what? Get shot. His dark eyes flashed. Because that's what happens when you crash a funeral that half of Seoul's underworld is watching. A man in a black suit ran past us, gun drawn. Min-jun's uncle, the silver-haired man from earlier, was barking orders in rapid Korean, coordinating what looked like a small army of very well-dressed bodyguards. Your uncle knew you were alive? My voice hit a pitch only dogs could hear. My whole family knew. It was necessary. But your girlfriend didn't need to know? The woman who learned Korean for you? Who sat through 3-hour dinners with your grandmother? Who, my voice cracked traitorously, who thought she might actually matter to you? Something raw flickered across his face. Zara. An explosion rocked the building. The front wall of the cathedral collapsed in a thunderous crash of stone and stained glass. Move. Min-jun hauled me up, and suddenly we were running. My heels, stupid funeral heels I'd worn to mourn a man who wasn't even dead, clicked uselessly on marble as he dragged me through a side door. We burst into a narrow hallway. Behind us, gunfire and screams created a symphony of violence. Ahead, an exit sign glowed like salvation. There's a car waiting, Min-jun panted, his hand iron tight around mine. 2 blocks east. Black Mercedes, license plate 3475. I'm not going anywhere with you. I dug my heels in. Literally. One of them snapped. Perfect. You're insane if you think. He spun, pressing me against the wall, his body caging mine. Up close, I could see he'd lost weight. There were dark circles under his eyes, a healing cut on his jaw. He looked exhausted and desperate and so heartbreakingly familiar that I wanted to scream. Listen to me, he said urgently. The people attacking this funeral? They think I'm dead. If they see you with me, if they realize I care about you, they will hunt you down and use you to draw me out. Do you understand? Care about me? I laughed bitterly. You have a fiancé, Min-jun. The article mentioned. A lie. Political arrangement. Never real. His thumb traced my cheekbone, and damn him, damn my traitorous body for remembering how that touch used to make me feel. You're the only woman I've ever. Don't. I shoved him back. Don't you dare finish that sentence when you've been lying to me for. How long? Was any of it real? Pain crashed across his features. All of it. Every moment. Every word. That's why I had to disappear. The merger I was negotiating, it put me in debt to people who don't accept no as an answer. People who would have used you, hurt you. So you hurt me first? Genius plan. I'm sorry. His voice dropped to a whisper. Zara, I'm so goddamn sorry. But right now, I need you to trust me one more time. Please. The building shook again. Dust rained from the ceiling. Somewhere, someone was screaming orders in Korean. I looked at this man, this beautiful, infuriating, apparently not dead man, and made possibly the worst decision of my life. Fine. But we're having a very long conversation about. He kissed me. Just grabbed my face and kissed me like the world was ending, which, given the exploding cathedral situation, it might be. And God help me, I kissed him back. 3 weeks of anger and grief and missing him poured into that kiss, our mouths clashing with the perfect desperate familiarity of two people who knew exactly how to destroy each other. When we broke apart, we were both breathing hard. Still hate you, I gasped. I know. He smiled, that devastating half-smile that had made me fall for him in the first place. You can hate me in the car. Move. We ran. The exit led to an alley slick with rain. Min-jun kept me close, scanning the street with the paranoid efficiency of someone who'd clearly done this before. A black Mercedes idled at the corner, exactly where he'd said. We were 10 feet away when a van screeched around the corner, blocking our path. The door slid open. 3 men with guns poured out. Min-jun pushed me behind him. Zara, when I say run. I'm not leaving you. You don't have a choice. He turned, his expression fierce. I didn't fake my death just to die for real before I could. Before you could what? The men were advancing. Min-jun's hand found mine, squeezed once. Before I could tell you I love you, you brilliant, stubborn, absolutely infuriating woman. My heart stopped. The guns raised. And that's when the silver-haired uncle stepped out of the shadows behind our attackers, flanked by a dozen men in black suits, all armed. Nephew, he said calmly, you always did have terrible timing. Get in the car. Both of you. We have much to discuss. Min-jun's hand tightened around mine. Can you trust me? I looked at the guns, the rain, the impossible situation, and the man who'd just confessed he loved me while literally dodging bullets. I must be insane, I muttered. We dove for the Mercedes. The door slammed shut. Tires squealed. And as Seoul blurred past the windows, Min-jun pulled me against him, his lips brushing my ear. Thank you for coming to my funeral, by the way. You looked beautiful in black. I elbowed him in the ribs. Hard. Ow. What was that for? That, I said sweetly, was for dying without permission. The next one's for the fake fiancé. He laughed, actually laughed, and despite everything, I felt myself smile. This was either the beginning of the greatest love story ever told, or the most spectacular mistake of my life. Possibly both. Wait, did he just say he loves her? And who is this uncle? Is he helping or making things worse? Drop a comment if you think Zara should forgive Min-jun or make him suffer. Don't forget to subscribe and tell me where you're watching from. This safe house was a penthouse that probably cost more than my entire Chicago neighborhood. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the glittering Seoul skyline, rain streaming down the glass like tears. The interior was all marble, leather, and the kind of minimalist luxury that screamed, I have mob money and excellent taste. I stood in the middle of this monument to wealth, soaking wet, one heel broken, my funeral dress clinging to me like a second skin, and tried to process the last hour of my life. Min-jun was alive. Check. Min-jun was in the Korean Mafia. Check. Min-jun loved me. Allegedly. Question mark. Here. Min-jun appeared with a towel and a silk robe that probably cost more than my rent. His white dress shirt was plastered to his chest, giving me an eyeful of the body I'd been trying to forget for 3 weeks. I snatched the towel. Don't think fancy robes and I love you declarations erase the fact that you're a lying liar who lies. I prefer strategic information manager. He had the nerve to smirk. I prefer single. Which I am. Because my boyfriend died. Technically, I just postponed my death. I threw the towel at his face. He caught it, laughing, and the sound hit me right in the chest. God, I'd missed that laugh. Missed him. Which made me even angrier, because how dare he make me miss him when he'd put me through hell. Zara. His voice softened. Let me explain. Please. You have 5 minutes before I walk out of here and straight to the American embassy. You won't make it 2 blocks. My uncle has guards stationed at every exit. Your uncle? The terrifying silver-haired man who ordered the gunfight like he was ordering coffee. Min-jun sighed, running a hand through his wet hair. Choi Dae-sung. He runs the family business. All of it, the legitimate companies, the less legitimate operations, and everything in between. And the family business is? Import-export, real estate, technology, and yes, some ventures that exist in legal gray areas. He met my eyes. I'm not going to lie to you anymore, Zara. My family has connections to organized crime. We've been cleaning up our operations, going legitimate, but the transition has made us vulnerable. Enemies on both sides. Criminals who think we're betraying the old ways, and rivals who want to capitalize on our weakness. I sank onto a leather couch that probably cost more than my car. So you faked your death because 3 weeks ago, I was supposed to finalize a merger that would have legitimized our biggest holdings. But the night before signing, I got intelligence that the other party was planning to kill me, absorb our assets, and declare war on my family. He sat beside me, not touching, but close enough that I could feel his warmth. If I'd died for real, you would have been investigated. They would have found our connection. Used you as leverage against my family or worse. So you just vanished? No call? No text? No hey babe might get murdered talk soon? I wanted to. His voice cracked. Every day. Every hour. Do you know how many times I started typing messages I couldn't send? Then why didn't you? Because you would have come. He looked at me, and his eyes were raw with something that looked painfully real. Just like you came to my funeral. You're too brave, too stubborn, too loyal. You would have tried to help, and you would have gotten hurt. My throat tightened. You don't get to decide what risks I take. I know. And I'm sorry. He reached for my hand hesitantly. When I didn't pull away, he laced our fingers together. But I couldn't lose you. Not permanently. So I lost you temporarily instead, and hated every second of it. I stared at our joined hands. His thumb traced circles on my palm, the same gesture he used to do during our Netflix marathons, our museum dates, our lazy Sunday mornings. The fiancé? I asked quietly. Park Ji-woo. Daughter of a major shareholder. Our families arranged it years ago, but she's gay and in love with her girlfriend. It was purely political theater. She knew about you. Actually thought you were good for me. Past tense. She helped stage my death. She's in Singapore now with her girlfriend, living her best life away from all this drama. Despite everything, I felt a smile tug at my lips. So no secret wife? No other girlfriends stashed in penthouses across Seoul. Just one stubborn, beautiful woman who flew 6,000 miles to crash my funeral and give me a heart attack. He shifted closer. Zara, I know I don't deserve forgiveness. I know I hurt you. But these 3 weeks without you were the worst of my life. Worse than the death threats. Worse than hiding. I was breathing, but I wasn't alive. That's really dramatic, I whispered. I'm Korean. Drama is genetic. I laughed, and it came out half sob. I hate that I still want you. I hate that seeing you in that coffin made me want to climb in there and check if you were really dead or just being your typical emotionally unavailable self. I'm here now. Very alive. Very available. His free hand cupped my face. And very completely, desperately in love with you. You can't just say that and expect. He kissed me again, slower this time. Deeper. Like he was trying to pour 3 weeks of longing into one moment. I melted into it, my hands fisting in his wet shirt, pulling him closer. When we finally broke apart, we were both trembling. I have conditions, I gasped. If we're doing this, really doing this, no more lies. No more fake deaths. No more disappearing. Agreed. And you're taking me on a proper date. Multiple dates. With flowers and those little mochi ice creams I like. Done. And you're explaining exactly what gray area business means because I'm not ending up in a Korean prison for mob activity. Fair. I pulled back to look at him. And Min-jun? If you ever ghost me again, I'm not flying to Seoul to interrupt your funeral. I'm hiring someone to make sure you actually need one. He grinned, that devastating genuine smile I'd fallen for. Noted. Any other demands? Yeah. I grabbed his collar. Kiss me again before I remember I'm supposed to be mad at you. He did. And for the first time in 3 weeks, the world felt right. We were so lost in each other that we didn't hear the penthouse door open. Well, said a cold female voice in perfect English. Isn't this cozy? We sprang apart. A woman stood in the doorway, stunning, dangerous, and pointing a gun directly at Min-jun's head. Hello, little brother, she purred. Did you really think faking your death would save you from me? Min-jun's face went white. Hannah, you're supposed to be in Tokyo. Change of plans. She smiled, and it was all teeth. We need to talk about your inheritance. And your little American girlfriend? She's coming with me. A sister. With a gun. Oh, this just got messy. Comment family drama, if you're as shook as I am. Is Hannah the real villain or is something else going on? Subscribe now because. Don't forget to tell me where you're watching from and smash that like button. We're so close to proving my mom wrong about those 10K views. Put the gun down, Hannah. Min-jun stepped in front of me, his voice deadly calm. This has nothing to do with her. Everything has to do with her now. Hannah's eyes, the same dark brown as Min-jun's but colder, sharper, flicked to me. The American girlfriend who crashed a funeral and exposed our entire operation. Very romantic. Very stupid. I peeked around Min-jun's shoulder. In my defense, nobody told me it was fake. Also, hi, I'm Zara. Love the whole gun-wielding entrance. Very dramatic. Must run in the family. Hannah's eyebrow arched. She has jokes. How refreshing. The gun didn't waver. Min-jun, move aside. No. I'm not going to shoot her, you idiot. I need to talk to her. Woman to woman. Without you hovering like an overprotective golden retriever. The last time you wanted to talk to someone, they ended up in a Thai prison. He was embezzling from our Busan operations. What was I supposed to do, give him a stern warning? Hannah lowered the gun, slightly. 5 minutes. That's all I need. Then you can go back to your reunion makeout session. Min-jun looked at me, conflict written across his face. Zara, you don't have to. 5 minutes. I squeezed his hand, then stepped forward. But for the record, if she shoots me, I'm haunting you both. And I'm a very annoying ghost. Hannah's lips twitched. Almost a smile. Balcony. Now. She turned and walked through the glass doors onto the rain-soaked terrace. I followed, very aware that Min-jun was watching through the windows like a nervous parent on a first date. The Seoul skyline glittered beneath us, beautiful and vast. Rain misted my face as Hannah lit a cigarette, the ember glowing orange in the darkness. You love him, she said. Not a question. I'm currently deciding between love and justifiable homicide. She laughed, a real laugh, not the cold earlier version. I like you. That's unfortunate. Unfortunate. Because loving a Choi man is a death sentence. She took a drag, exhaling smoke that disappeared into the rain. Our father was murdered when Min-jun was 19. Car bomb. Very messy. Our mother drank herself to death 2 years later. Uncle Dae-sung raised us, trained us, turned us into what we are. And what we are, Zara, is dangerous. Min-jun said you were in Tokyo. I was. Handling the people who tried to kill my baby brother. Her voice went flat, emotionless. They won't be a problem anymore. A chill ran down my spine that had nothing to do with the rain. You handled them? I'm the family fixer. Min-jun is the face. Charming, legitimate, perfect for business dinners and merger negotiations. Uncle Dae-sung is the strategist. And me? I'm the one who gets my hands dirty so they don't have to. She turned to me, and her eyes were ancient, tired. So when I say loving him is dangerous, I mean it. People will use you, hurt you, kill you to get to him. He faked his death to protect me. And you flew 6,000 miles and exposed his resurrection to half of Seoul's underworld. Very touching. Very reckless. She flicked ash over the railing. Here's what happens next. You go back to Chicago. You forget about Min-jun. You live a normal, safe, boring American life. And maybe you live to see 30. Or you stay. You become part of this family, this world. You learn to watch your back, sleep with one eye open, and accept that every person you meet might be an enemy. You trade safety for love. Normal for extraordinary. Peace for chaos. She stubbed out her cigarette. Most people choose safety. Smart people choose safety. I looked through the glass at Min-jun. He was pacing, running his hands through his hair, looking miserable and worried and so completely, devastatingly mine that my heart ached. I'm not most people, I said quietly. Hannah studied me for a long moment. No. You're really not. She pulled something from her jacket. Not a gun, thank God, but a sleek black phone. My private number. Encrypted. If you're staying, you'll need it. For emergencies. Or if Min-jun does something stupid again, which is statistically likely. I took the phone, stunned. You're helping me? I'm protecting my brother. He was a ghost these past 3 weeks. Barely ate. Didn't sleep. Just stared at photos of you like a tragic K-drama protagonist. She headed for the door, then paused. Also, between you and me, Uncle Dae-sung is planning to test you. He needs to know you won't crack under pressure, won't betray us. So, don't crack. Don't betray us. What kind of test? She smiled, mysterious and slightly terrifying. If I told you, it wouldn't be a test. Good luck, Zara Adeyemi. You're going to need it. She disappeared inside. Through the glass, I saw her say something to Min-jun, punch his shoulder hard from his wince, then leave the penthouse entirely. Min-jun rushed onto the balcony. What did she say? Are you okay? Did she threaten you? Because I swear. I grabbed his face and kissed him. Hard. Claiming. When I pulled back, he looked dazed. Your sister is terrifying. I know. Your family is basically the Korean Mafia. I know. This is insane. I should run away. This is the plot of every thriller where the girlfriend dies in Act 3. I know. His hands settled on my waist. What are you going to do? I looked at him, really looked. At the man who'd faked his death to save me. Who'd looked miserable in his own coffin. Who'd said he loved me while dodging bullets. Who was currently looking at me like I was the only thing keeping him tethered to the world. I'm staying, I said. But we're doing this my way. No more secrets. No more fake deaths. And tomorrow, you're taking me on that date. Somewhere normal. Somewhere without guns or mafias or... The penthouse door exploded inward. Armed men poured in, not Min-jun's family. Different suits. Different energy. Wrong. Get down. Min-jun shoved me behind a concrete planter as gunfire erupted. We hit the ground hard. His body covered mine, protective and solid. Bullets pinged off metal, shattered glass. The rival family, he panted. They know I'm alive. They tracked us. An explosion rocked the building. Fire bloomed in the living room. There's an escape route, Min-jun gasped. Service elevator. If we can reach. A man appeared on the balcony. Gun raised. Aimed at Min-jun's head. I didn't think. Just moved. Grabbed a decorative stone from the planter and hurled it with every ounce of my former softball pitcher strength. It hit the gunman square in the face. He went down hard. Min-jun stared at me. Did you just move? I yanked him up. We ran through smoke and chaos, hand in hand, toward an elevator I couldn't even see. Behind us, someone shouted in Korean. More gunshots. The penthouse was an inferno. We dove into the service elevator. The doors closed. Started descending. Min-jun pulled me against him, both of us panting, covered in soot and rain and adrenaline. Still want that normal date, he gasped. After this? I'm thinking somewhere very normal. Maybe a library. A museum. A peaceful. The elevator lurched. Stopped. The lights went out. And in the darkness, I heard Min-jun's phone buzz. He checked it. His face went pale in the screen's glow. What? Text from Uncle Dae-sung. His voice was hollow. The attack wasn't random. Someone in our family gave them our location. We have a traitor. A traitor in the family. Who is it? Is it Hannah? Uncle Dae-sung? Someone we haven't even met yet. I'm screaming. Part 2 is coming soon, but only if you subscribe right now. Comment Team Zara if you think she should stay, or Run Girl Run if she should flee back to Chicago. Tell me where you're watching from and destroy that like button. My mom bet me this wouldn't hit 10,000 views and 1,000 subscribers. Let's prove her wrong. The story is just getting started, and trust me, you do not want to miss what happens next. Hit subscribe, drop a comment, and I'll see you in part 2. Stay tuned.